The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 47, 3 Ways to Avoid Holiday Weight Gain. Hello and welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, certified master, NLP practitioner, certified professional coach, and founder of the Inner Self Diet. And this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond the food to the real issue, your mindset. Yes, your mindset is 90% of the solution if you crave permanent success with your weight. Just imagine if you could actually have permanent weight loss. This would mean that you would end your emotional eating, binge eating, night eating, stuffing, food obsessions, food addictions, yo-yo dieting, beating yourself up mentally and emotionally, black and white thinking, perfectionism, and self-sabotage, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, any and all unhealthy eating and mental and emotional behaviors that keep you overweight and stuck. These are all symptoms of an F18 mindset. What is that? An F18 mindset is a mindset grounded in fear-attracting thoughts. And that FAT on the inside is a direct and immediate match to the FAT, or the fat on the outside, on your body. One of the universal laws that we all live under is the inner and the outer always match. What is a universal law? A universal law is a law that none of us can make up. It's not my rule. It cannot be your rule. It cannot be anyone's rule. It's a law of this universe. Once you heal the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles, which is on the inside of you, then you will no longer need to or want to use food to try to feel better or for any other purpose except physical hunger. And that does not mean that you won't enjoy what you eat. I enjoy what I eat. I only put food into my mouth when I'm physically hungry, though. Most of the time. I cannot say I'm 100% like that. There is no naturally slender person on the planet who never has any time of when they put food in their mouth when they're not completely physically hungry. A good example of this is Thanksgiving, which is coming up next week. The difference between a naturally slender person and a person with an FAT mindset, which is what you have. How do you know you have an FAT mindset? Because you're unhappy with your weight, you can't eat the way that you want to, as far as you can't stop overeating, and the FAT on the inside matches the fat on the outside. The difference between a naturally slender person and an FAT person at Thanksgiving is if the naturally slender person overeats, they notice that they don't feel good, and they say, oh, I ate too much. They don't put food in their mouth again until they are physically hungry. They don't feel bad about it. They don't freak out. They don't tell themselves that they are bad because they didn't stick to their good diet. They just go on about their life, and more than likely they go for a walk or they go for a run because that's part of their healthy lifestyle. Their healthy lifestyle is what they live all year round. not just to lose weight. It's part of their lifestyle. A person with an F18 mindset who overeats on Thanksgiving tells themselves that they're bad, they're horrible, they're lazy, they're fat, they're ugly, and let's go eat more food to try to feel better, and let's eat all the food that I can find that I've been denying myself because of the diet that I've been on, and then I'll start again on Monday. Two completely different mindsets. And I do want you to know that I understand what it's like to be in the massive, painful, exhausting struggle that you are living with right now with your eating disorders and your inability to drop the fat and keep it off, because I have been there too. And for over 20 years, I knew that the problem was on the inside, but I made the biggest mistake of all, which was telling myself, oh, I'll just lose weight. I'll lose weight first, and then I will heal the root of my ongoing food and weight struggles. Well, guess how that worked? It didn't work, because you cannot drop the fat and keep it off when on the inside you're fat. When you're FAT on the inside, you will be fat on the outside because they match up. Diet and exercise is only 10% of the solution. It doesn't mean that how you eat and exercise isn't important. It is, but it's only 10% of the game. Maybe you've wondered before, why is it that 95% of dieters fail? Why is that? Why is it that you are so smart and so successful in your business life, in your work life, but you still struggle with this food and weight issue? Why is that? Obviously, it's not a problem of intelligence. That's not the problem. So, let's look at today's topic of 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain. Oh, and by the way, you can learn more about me, if you'd like to. You can learn more about the inner self diet, which is what I think you'd be more interested in than in learning about me, because you want to have a solution to your ongoing food and weight struggles. And you can learn more about the inner self diet, which is my proven proprietary step-by-step system to lasting success with your weight. This is my mentoring system. I coach my coaching clients through the inner self diet, through the steps, and when they graduate, they have a weight loss mindset, and weight loss is the easiest thing for them then. I know it's hard to believe, and that's what all of them say also. You can listen to audio success interviews that I have done with them. You will find them on my website, fearlessfatloss.com. You'll see a link that says testimonials. You can read their testimonials, and then there's a link on that page to go to the audio testimonials. And you can also apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session at fearlessfatloss.com/call, CALL. That's for you if you are serious about ending all of this struggle, so that you never again have to go through another holiday season and be afraid of gaining weight, because you will be the slender fit person on the inside, and then it will be easy for you to live healthy and fit on the outside no matter what time of year it is. And it doesn't mean that you won't be able to enjoy the holiday season. So let's go ahead and look at today's topic of 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain. All right, number 1 way, ask yourself, before you put food or drink in your mouth that is not clean, clear water. And before I go on, this might sound very simple the way I'm sharing this information with you, but it really is that simple. However, 95% of dieters can't do it. And I completely understand, because I was there before. I'm sure that you know that it's better to put food in your mouth when your body is physically hungry. And I know how hard it is to do when you are an emotional eater, but I'm still going to share these tips with you for 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain because they work. If you're able to do them, that's awesome. Again, I understand how hard it is, though, when you don't have a weight loss mindset and food is your friend, food is all you've got, food is how you try to feel better, and it's what you go to. All of those behaviors are gone once you heal the root of this problem, and that's what I do with my clients in the Inner Self Diet. So, 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain. Number 1, ask yourself before you put food or drink in your mouth that is not clean, clear water, do I really even want this? Or am I eating it because I'm afraid of missing out? Or I'm afraid that I can only get this food during this time of year, during the holidays. So do you really even want the food? Or are you eating it due to fear? Lack. That's a lack mentality. That mentality also is impacting your finances. Just a hint there of how deep this problem runs. And this is why it impacts every area of your life. This is why I share with my coaching clients that this is not a problem of food and exercise. It's a life problem. It's an inner self problem. And this is also why when the people that I work with heal the root, their entire life transforms. And they tell me over and over again that they wouldn't have believed it if they hadn't experienced it. But it's just how it works, because the reasons that you overeat are not because of the food. They're deeper than that, much deeper, which is why those little food diets can't fix this for you. And the food diets aren't supposed to fix it for you. That's not their purpose. So you don't have to beat up on the food diets. All right, so you're asking yourself, do you really even want the food? Or are you eating it because you're afraid that this is the only time of year that you can have it? And then if you really are thinking that you can only have this food during this time of year, during the holidays, then ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it possible that you could make that corn casserole or that green bean casserole or that turkey or the pumpkin pie? Is it possible that you could make that during the summer? It is, isn't it? Now, I do know, I love Trader Joe's, and they have products that are only available at certain times of the year. But who's to say that you couldn't buy some of whatever it is you like and put it in the freezer if it's something you really like? But then again, when you are an emotional eater, which I expect that you do have either an emotional eating problem or a binge eating problem or a compulsive overeating problem. If you didn't have those problems, then you wouldn't have the problem with the excess fat on your body. So then you have the problem of having the item in the freezer, and then all you can do is obsess about it and want to eat it. Why is it I know all these things? Because I have been there. I know what it's like. And I also know that you don't have to live like that, that it can be completely different. You really can have a completely different life, but it's got to be an inside-out process. All right, so number 2 way to avoid holiday weight gain, very simple. You've got to ask yourself, well, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything of what I'm suggesting, but if you do this, it will work. Ask yourself, am I physically hungry? Now, you need to know what physical hunger feels like in your body. I've worked with way too many people, my clients in my coaching practice in the Inner Self Diet, who did not know what physical hunger felt like because it had been so long. It had been 10, 20, 30 or more years since they had felt physical hunger. This reminds me of a show that someone was telling me that they watched, and it was about weight loss surgery, which that never works either. I need to do a podcast about that. That's a great topic. And the person who had the weight loss surgery said, well, now I'm supposed to only eat when I'm when I'm hungry, my stomach or whatever is left inside after they do the surgery, it can only take in so much food. And this is just ridiculous, she said, because nobody eats because they're hungry. Well, I eat because I'm hungry, and that's how naturally slender people eat too. But you have to understand that when you have an F18 mindset, like this woman who had the weight loss surgery, it seems like, in your reality that no one eats for physical hunger because that's how you live. And again, I understand that because I used to be there too. But again, this second step here, you can ask yourself before you put food or drink in your mouth during the holiday season, am I even physically hungry? You have to know what physical hunger feels like in your body, so you have to identify that first. And then if you only put food in your body when you're physically hungry, you stand a very high chance of avoiding holiday weight gain because then your body will use the food. This also includes stopping eating when you're physically full. So it's a very different way of life from being an emotional eater or a binge eater or a food addict when you're always eating and you're not even hungry. Okay, number 3 way to avoid holiday weight gain. This is the very best way, and this will be with you throughout your entire year and throughout the rest of your life. It's a way of life, it's a lifestyle to, first of all, get a weight loss mindset and then use your inner self tools to maintain your mindset throughout the rest of your life so that you are continuing to always feed your mind before you feed your body. Now, why would you want to do that? Because it works, because it will give you permanent weight loss, because your mind is what leads your body. How could you move your body if you didn't have a mind? How could you do anything? The people that don't have a mind, they don't have that consciousness, they're called vegetables. People who have had brain injuries or head injuries, things like that, or they're in a coma. If you don't have a mind, your body isn't going to have something to follow. Your body is not just a shell that can flop around without your mind. I'm sure this makes sense to you. And that mind you have, the mindset that you have, that goes with you everywhere. How do you know? Well, could you take your mind off right now, park it on the curb for 10 minutes, and then go shopping or go to lunch or go live your life and feel absolutely fantastic because you no longer have the F18 mindset? But then what kind of mindset would you have? You wouldn't have any kind of mindset if you parked it on the curb, right? You just have a body that you're walking around in, and how would that work? So clearly, your mind goes with you everywhere. Your mindset goes with you everywhere, just like your body goes with you everywhere. This is one of the reasons why it is so difficult for people who are struggling with their weight to lose weight, because it's always in your face. This is another reason why the best way to avoid holiday weight gain is to get a weight loss mindset. You will heal the root of why you ever began abusing food in the first place. Why did you ever get off track in the first place? How did that happen? What is the problem there? Which more than likely you don't even know what it is, or you might think you know what it is, but that's not what it is. And if you did know what it was, then why is it that you still have it? Does that mean that you don't know how to heal it? These are very tricky challenges when it comes to your body and food. Is it possible to heal this on your own? I have no idea. I am a certified professional master NLP practitioner, certified professional coach. I was coaching my clients to success with their weight, and I was still struggling. I hired my own coaches. I worked with more than one coach to help me get out from behind my inner blind spots, and that was when I went from a 12 to an 8 in just 2 months back in 2010. Are you able to do what I could not do? I don't know, maybe. But if you can, then why not do it right now? Heal the root of why you ever began abusing food in the first place. Get a pure, solid, core weight loss mindset which goes far beyond surface positive thinking. And then you will have the 90% of the solution to permanent weight loss in place, and then you won't need to listen to a podcast about how to avoid holiday weight gain, because you will be in full alignment on the inside with the body of your dreams on the outside, and the inner and the outer always match. So it will be very easy for you to live healthy and fit once you have accomplished that 90% of the solution to permanent weight loss. If you don't know how to do that, though, the quickest and easiest way is to simply do the same steps that other people have already done before you, the steps that are proven to work with a proven professional mentor and coach, get the heck out of your own way, and achieve permanent weight loss. Why not? Why not? If you believe you deserve it. That's one of the big problems of human beings in general, and that will hold you back massively if you don't truly believe that you deserve to live without struggle with food and without struggle with your body, with your weight. If you don't believe you deserve that, and if you believe that it's supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be a struggle, it's supposed to be a battle, well, if those are your beliefs, you are right, and you will prove that to be true and right and correct. You have to prove your own beliefs to be true. So, those are 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain. They will work if you do them, and just know that you really can have a easy time with food and your weight. You really can. If you go to the root of this problem, which is always on the inside. Those little food diets are not supposed to fix your inner self issues. So that's not even what they can do. That's not what they're supposed to do. Questions to ask yourself. On every episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you some questions that you can ask yourself so that you can get even more out of this free podcast. And what you can do, what I invite you to do is to write these down, pen on paper, write the question down, and then write down your answer, because then you can benefit from the connection that occurs between your head, your hand, and your heart. So, first question to ask yourself: what would I feel like if from now on I could live in freedom with food and with my weight? And living in freedom means that you would no longer be afraid of food. You'd no longer be afraid of, should I eat this? Shouldn't I eat that? Oh, I did the wrong thing. I ate that. Now I'm bad. Oh, I was good because I stuck to my diet for 2 hours, but now I'm bad because I blew it. And all of that drama. The question again: how would I feel if I could live in complete freedom from the struggle with food and my weight? How would I feel? And write down your answer. Second question: does it make sense to me that living in freedom from the struggle with food and my weight means that I would be living a healthy lifestyle with ease and enjoying it? Does it make sense to me that living in freedom from the struggle with food and my weight would mean that I would be living a healthy lifestyle with ease and with joy? And the point of asking yourself this question is to make sure for yourself that you understand that living in freedom from the struggle with food and your weight does not mean that you binge eat all the time. It doesn't mean that you binge eat ever. It means that you become one of those quote-unquote normal people who they eat what they want when they want, but only when they're physically hungry, and they stop when they're physically full. What would that be like? And those people also enjoy physical exercise. What would that be like for you to have that freedom? And the third question, exactly how willing am I to allow myself to be free of the struggle? Exactly how willing am I to allow myself to break free of the struggle? Exactly how willing am I to allow myself to break free of the struggle? And you could look at that on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, no, I want to stay with the struggle. It feels comfortable to me. I believe that it's supposed to be hard to live with food in this earth plane and live with my body, and I'm supposed to battle my weight, and it's all supposed to be really hard, because if it's not hard, then it means that I am not worth it. Whatever your thought is, that's number 1. Number 10 would be, yes, I definitely deserve freedom from the struggle. And then the last question, does it make sense to me that achieving freedom from the struggle will never come in a magic bullet? Does it make sense to me that achieving freedom from the struggle will never come in a magic bullet? And this is a really important question to ask yourself, because if in the previous question you answered, yes, I absolutely deserve freedom, but in your mind you have a sense of entitlement that you should be able to have this freedom without doing anything, without making any changes, without getting any help, without investing any money, any time, any energy into you, into your life, into your mind, into your body. If you have that thought of entitlement that you should be able to have the freedom with just doing nothing, then that's really important for you to look at, because you're doing the same thing in other areas of your life, and that will really hold you back. So these are all really good questions for you to ask yourself today to help you see where you're at and what could be holding you back. So it's time for a quick commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. And today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin. 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin is today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show, and you can head on over to 31daysoflovingyourselfthin.com to learn more if you would like to take an immediate action step to love yourself thin. Shout-outs. How do you get a shout-out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show? It's very simple. Head on over to the show's Facebook page, click like to like our page. You'll get free updates, and I will give you a shout-out on an upcoming episode with just your first name. And our Facebook page is found at theJoLynnBraleyShow.com. And you can see how to spell my name. If you are listening on iTunes, you'll see the picture. It says how my name is spelled. And just type in theJoLynnBraleyShow.com. Click like to like the Facebook page. It's very simple. And we could say hi. Let's wrap up the show and look at what you learned today. What you learned today, you learned many things today. You learned that you really can have permanent weight loss. You learned that you really can become one of, quote unquote, those people who eat what they want when they want. They do not binge eat. They do not use food for emotions. They have friends, real people who are their best friends instead of food being their best friend. They know how to cope with their own emotions. Basically, they're in the driver's seat of their own life. And it doesn't mean that you're bad or anything like that because you have all of these struggles with food and your weight. It just means that you are a match on the inside. You have an F18 mindset on the inside, and so that inside matches those unhealthy behaviors on the outside. The good news about this is that at least you know why you do the things you do on the outside. And once you shift your inner self and you achieve a core transformation on the inside, then those behaviors that you do on the outside that you don't like, the overeating, the stuffing, the Last Supper eating, self-sabotage, all of those things, those will be a thing of the past. You want to become fit and slender on the inside, and then you will want to live a healthy lifestyle on the outside. It will all match up. You also learned today 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain. You learned that the quickest and easiest way to be done with all of this struggle is to just do proven steps that have already worked for the others before you. Do the same thing they did. Hire a professional coach to work with, because that's what all high achievers do to get to where they want to go. There's a reason why Oprah has a life coach. There's a reason why Madonna has a life coach. Why shouldn't you have a professional coach to help you put your food and weight struggles to rest, to put them in your past so that you can become the you that you have always wanted to be? Why don't you deserve that? I believe you do, but you have to believe you do. That's where it all starts. You learned that if you are serious about ending all of your struggles with food and your weight, then you can apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session at fearlessfatloss.com/call CALL. Okay, so be sure and go to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com. Click like to like our Facebook page. You'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show. If you're subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating and include your 5-star review along with the show. Share with us what your biggest aha is from the JoLynn Braley Show. What's your biggest shift that you have gotten? We would love to read that. Next week's episode is shame holding you back from losing weight for good. Very important topic to discuss. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and you've been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. Go to fearlessfatloss.com to learn more. You can grab my free 5-day e-course while you're there. It will help you answer the question, is your mindset fit or FAT, and help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good and what you can do about it. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.